Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to round number 4 of the B-Main Bandits Summer Series featuring the cars and the stars of the Outlaw Micro Sprints and Midgets. Last week we were at the Lanier National Speedway, a 3/8 mile oval in Georgia. This week we're on the shortest track on the schedule, the 1/8 mile Millbridge Speedway in Salisbury, North Carolina. Going to bring full coverage of both classes tonight. So final qualifying for your Outlaw Micro Sprints looks like this. Surprising pole sitter tonight, Mr. I Can't Turn on Dirt, Richie Joplin out of Hudson, North Carolina, goes quick time 9.121. 10 cars checked in, going to be plenty more than enough for some exciting action tonight. And let's get the heat races kicked off. Rolling straight into heat race number 1 for your Outlaw Micro Sprints tonight, starting on the pole, coming to you out of LaPorte, Texas. That's going to be the 5150 B-Main Bandits Racing number 50 of Joey Smith. To his outside of Joplin, Missouri, is going to be the 69 of the Doughboy, Austin Thornton. Inside of row number 2 is going to be the gray auto number 06 of Rylan Gray. Starting P4 by virtue of the invert, quick time tonight, Richie Joplin out of Hudson, North Carolina. And rounding out the field for heat race number 1, it's going to be Ryan Paget. There we go. Field coming to green. Joey Smith, Austin Thornton going to lead us to the green. Green flag's in the air. Smith crosses over with the wheel stand, blocks any charge from Thornton immediately. Smith going to stay down low, leads lap number 1. Trying to work the high side of the speedway to carry the momentum around him. Side by side with Rylan Gray for P2. Little bit of contact. Now the battle for third. Gray has second. Joplin and Thornton battling for the third spot. Ryan Paget trying to find a hole to make it through. Gray banging it off the boards on the high side, trying to clear Smith. Smith now working the middle of the speedway. Gray staying to the high side, misstep by Smith. Gray's going to come down to the bottom and block the run. Coming down 3 laps to go already in heat race number 1. Back behind Richie with a misstep, and that's going to bring out a yellow. There we go, coming back to green. Rylan Gray, Joey Smith, Ryan Paget, your top 3. Gray fires, we're back underway. 2 laps to go in heat race number 1. Gray puts it up on the fence and returns 1 and 2 all the way to the bottom of 3 and 4. Ryan Paget trying to make a move for the second spot. White flag is out. Rylan Gray's going to win. Paget absolutely muscles Smith out of the way. Contact between Thornton and Smith for the podium. Give it to Thornton. Smith in 4th, Richie Joplin in 5th. Rolling straight into heat race number 2 for the Outlaw Micro Sprints. Starting on the pole in this one out of Anahuac, Texas. That's going to be the number 101 of Dusty Fincher. To his outside out of Rondell, Washington, going to be Edmund Jones in the 51. The inside of row number 2 going to be the Wonder Boy, Jackson McClain, the Summer Series points leader. His outside out of Granbury, Texas, going to be the number 31 of Andrew Thornton. And rounding out the field out of Crosby, Texas, is going to be the 51X of Dennis Hawley. Down the back straightaway. Fincher and Jones going to lead us to the green for heat race number 2. Surprised the flagman let it fly. It was definitely a staggered start, but Fincher taking advantage of it, and he's trying to run away and hide. Using all of the racetrack. Jones and Thornton battling for the second spot. Thornton running down low, Jones up high, trying to make ground on Fincher. 3-way battle for the lead up front. Thornton down low. Side by side of the stripe. Fincher keeps it. 4 down, 4 to go. Thornton slides up in front of Fincher. He's going to lead it this time. Contact between Fincher and Jones. And that's going to throw a yellow. There we go. Coming back to green. Thornton your leader. Fincher in second. Dennis Hawley in third. Green flags in the air. We're back after 3 laps to go here in heat race number 1. Back behind, a bit of a struggle for second through 5th. Whole pack is there. Thornton's gone with 2 to go. Holly trying to work the high side. He's in the fence and upside down. White flag's already waving one more time around. Jackson McLean to second. Jones and Fincher get together, getting into turn number 1. Andrew Thornton's going to win heat race number 2. Jackson McLean in second. Eddie Jones in third. Dusty Fincher in fourth. And Dennis Holly going to round out the field. And that's going to do it for the Outlaw Micro Sprint heat races. We're going to move straight into our midget heat races for the evening. Rolling straight into midget heat race action for the B-Main Bandits Summer Series. Final qualifying for the midget category tonight looked like this. Chevy Boyer, the number 25, quick time tonight, 8.910 was quick time out of the 15 cars signed in tonight. 3 heat races, 5 cars each, going to go for 8 laps. Heat 1 coming at you. Heat race number 1 coming to you for the B-Main Bandits Midget Series. Starting on the pole, going to be the number 69 AMT Racing B-Main Bandits machine of Austin Thornton. His outside, going to be the number 98 machine of Ryan Paget out of Anadarko, Oklahoma. Starting inside of row number 2 out of Medhill, Scotland, that's going to be the UK 5-6 of Kyle O'Donnell. His outside will be number 25 of Chevy Boyer, and rounding out the field, going to be your quick qualifier in the Outlaw Micro Sprints tonight. Starting tailback in heat race number 1 for the midgets, Mr. I Can't Turn on Dirt, Richie Joplin. Got 5 cars. Going to go for 8 laps around the Millbridge Speedway for heat race number 1. Off turn number 4, we're racing. Austin Thornton going to lead the field in turns 1 and 2. Working the middle of the speedway. Paget starts down low, starts sliding up high, trying to make a run on Thornton. Boyer tries to bulldoze his way into P2, doesn't make it stick. Paget's going to slide in front of Thornton. He's going to have it on lap number 3. Thornton sideways. Boyer bulldozes him again. Grabs Joplin, and Joplin goes for a big ride, and that's going to bring out a yellow. Take another look at that wild ride by Richie Joplin. Thornton sideways from the contact with Boyer. Nowhere for Joplin to go. Innocent bystander, and he takes a big ride down the back straightaway. There we go, going to come back to green. Paget, O'Donnell, Boyer, your top 3. Green flag back out, halfway home. Paget sticking to the bottom side of the speedway. Blocks the run of O'Donnell. Boyer trying to bounce it off the wall on the high side to grab some speed. O'Donnell and Paget still working the bottom. 3 laps to go this time. Coming down now, 2 to go. Paget sideways. O'Donnell and Paget get together for the second spot. Thornton gets into him. Does the green light stay on? It does. White flag is out for Ryan Paget. Rolling his way around the bottom side of the speedway. Paget's going to win. Austin Thornton in second. Kyle O'Donnell holds on for the 3rd spot. Chevy Boyer in 4th. And Richie Joplin with the early exit rounds out your field. Midget heat race number 2 rolling out onto the speedway. Starting on the pole out of LaPorte, Texas, the 5150 Racing B-Main Bandits number 50, Joey Smith. Starting outside the front row, making his B-Main Bandits debut with us tonight. That's going to be the 2J of James Turnbull. Inside of row number 2, the gray auto number 06 of Rylan Gray. To his outside, Jackson McLean, the number 81 out of Paris, Tennessee. And rounding out the field out of Jacksonville, Illinois, representing SSR Elite, it's going to be the 018 of Brandon Garman. Once again, we're going to have 5 cars going for 8 laps. Out turn number 4, we're green. Looks like Turnbull either missed the start or had a little bit of help into the front straightaway wall. Smith going to lead lap number 1. He's rolling around the bottom. Gray bounces it off the fence, banging the boards, trying to take the lead. Throws the big slide for the lead on Smith, and he's got it on lap number 2. Smith and McLean rolling the bottom side of the speedway. Gray really hauling the mail on the high side. Banging the tail tank off the boards, getting a big burst of speed down the straightaways. Jackson McLean by Smith for the second spot at the halfway point of this heat race. Brandon Garman holding on to fourth place. James Turnbull still on track. Finding every bit of concrete all the way around the Millbridge Speedway. Coming down 2 laps to go. Rylan Gray has checked out. He's got a commanding lead. 1.6 seconds down the back straightaway coming to the white flag. One more lap to go for Rylan Gray. Checkered flag's going to fly. Gray's going to win it. McLean in second. Joey Smith in third. James Turnbull all the way up to fourth. Brandon Garman off track rounds out the field of 5. Third and final heat race for the B-Main Bandits Midgets rolling out on the speedway. Starting on the pole, going to be the Edwards Setup Shop Warlord Wraps, number 51 of Eddie Jones out of Rondo, Washington. Is outside out of Winfield, Missouri, going to be the DCR number 88 of Mason Coffee. His DCR teammate starting inside of row number 2. That's going to be the number 67 of Evan Dawson. His outside, the B-Main Bandits AMT Racing, number 31 of Andrew Thornton out of Granbury, Texas. And rounding out the field out of Troy, Indiana, representing SSR Elite, is going to be the 21 of Bruce Klingon. One more time, 5 cars going to go for 8 laps around the Millbridge Speedway. Jones and Coffee fire, we're underway. Coffee going right to the boards on the high side. Dawson trying to tiptoe around the bottom. Jones working the middle. Now the high side, he gets into the fence, loses a couple of spots. Coffee throwing caution to the wind and just banging the car off the fence. High side of the speedway. Coffee and Dawson determined to take off and leave everybody else in the dust. Andrew Thornton, the first car not on the high side of the speedway, rolling around the bottom. Eddie Jones in fourth. Bruce Klingon rounding out your field as he currently run halfway home. Coffee comes down to 3 to go. He's got a 1 second lead over his teammate Evan Dawson. Single filed out for the most part here around the Millbridge Speedway. Andrew Thornton working a little bit of a slider line there in P3. Coffee's coming around, white flag, 1 lap to go. Bangs it off the boards all the way around. Checkered flag is going to fly. Mason Coffee going to win heat race number 3. Evan Dawson is going to come across in second. Andrew Thornton in third. Bruce Klingon in the 4th spot. And Eddie Jones is going to round out the 5-car field. And that is going to do it for our heat races. Going to move on to the Outlaw Micro Sprint A main event. And the nightcap of the evening will be your Midget A main event. Ladies and gentlemen, it is feature time tonight for the Outlaw Micro Sprints. Starting lineup looks like this. Starting shotgun on the field tonight. Coming to you out of Crosby, Texas, is going to be the number 51X of Dennis Holly. To his inside, quick time tonight. Coming to you out of Hudson, North Carolina, Mr. I Can't Turn On Dirt, the 08 of Richie Joplin. Starting outside of row number 4 tonight. Coming to you out of Greenfield, Indiana, multiple-time winner this season with B-Main Bandits, the gray auto number 06 of Rylan Gray. To his inside, starting 7th tonight, the league owner out of Granbury, Texas, AMT Racing B-Main Bandits number 31 of Andrew Thornton. Starting outside of row number 3 tonight, coming to you out of Anadarko, Oklahoma, the Aces Up Sim Sports, Scott Thomas Racing number 98 of Ryan Paget. And to his inside, out of Paris, Tennessee, the Jackson McLean Racing B-Main Bandits number 81, the Wonder Boy, Jackson McLean. Starting outside of row number 2 tonight, coming to you out of Joplin, Missouri, the AMT Racing Services number 69, that's Austin Thornton. And to his inside, starting 3rd tonight, coming to you out of Rondo, Washington, the JR Button Boxes Warlord Wraps number 51, that's Edmund Jones. And moving on to your front row tonight, completely represented by the Lone Star State, coming to you out of LaPorte, Texas, the 5150 Racing B-Main Bandits number 50 of Joey Smith. And your pole sitter tonight, coming to you out of Anahuac, Texas, going to be the number 101 of Dusty Fincher. Got 10 cars going for 30 laps tonight around the Millbridge Speedway. As the field comes to green, Fincher, Smith going to lead us into 3 out of 4. Green flags in the air. We're racing here at Millbridge. Jackson McLean wasted no time. He wants the lead on lap number 1. Smith sideways towards the back. McLean's going to have it down the back straightaway. Fincher in second, Thornton in third, and we've got a yellow already. Had a whole bunch happen here. Smith sideways gets into Thornton. Thornton comes up, gets into Paget. Both Paget and Thornton go around. Dropped off the pace just enough to bring out our first yellow of the evening. There we go, coming back to green. Going to attempt the rare double file restart here for the B-Main Bandits. Fincher and McLean going to lead us back to green. Green flags in the air, we're racing. McLean with a great jump on the high side. He takes off, tries to run and hide. Fincher and Thornton both working the bottom. Smith up top. Yellow out once again. Caution going to fly for Edmund Jones and Dennis Hawley. Hawley looked like he had a little bit of a misstep, grabbed the brake. Jones with nowhere to go. It's going to bring out our second yellow of the evening. There we go, coming back to green one more time with the double file restarts. McLean and Fincher are going to lead us this time. And we're racing off turn number 4. McLean throws the slider line. Fincher working the high side. A little bit of contact back behind for third spot between Thornton and Smith. A little further back. Whoa, big contact. Jones goes for a big ride. That's going to be yellow number 3. Things do sure happen in a hurry here around Millbridge Speedway. Thornton and Joplin get together, and Jones just hitches a ride and goes for a big ride in turns number 1 and 2. Lands the car on all fours. Looks like he's going to rejoin us and stay in the pack. Here we go, coming back to green. Single file restart this time. McLean, Fincher, Thornton, Smith, and Joplin, your top 5. We're back underway. 6 down, 24 to go. McLean working the high side of the speedway. Fincher and Thornton on the bottom. Joey Smith working the high side just like McLean, trying to gain ground. Race a little further back in the pack between Richie Joplin and Ryan Paget. Paget gets by Joplin on the high side. Back up here towards the front. McLean is gone. Fincher has a misstep. Thornton brake checks to not get in the back of Fincher, and Smith gets in the back of him. It's a lot to keep up with here at the Millbridge Speedway, even with only 10 cars on track. Ryan Paget marching his way through the field. He's up in the 4th spot, looking for 3rd on the high side. Good run down the back straightaway between Fincher and Thornton for the 2nd spot. Paget trying to find the hold. Tries to make it 3 wide off turn 2. Gets together with Fincher. That's going to be a yellow. Here we go. Coming back to green. McLean, Thornton, Joplin, Smith, Jones. Your top 5. Back underway. Starting lap 13. McLean to the high side. Thornton down low. Joplin working the middle of the racetrack. Smith banging the board on the high side in 4th. Austin Thornton back up into the mix. Gets into Jones and Hawley, and yellow flag's going to fly once again. Happen to get a glimpse of it here. Austin on the bottom side. Gets a shot in the shorts from Jones. Goes up the racetrack, collects Hawley. Austin able to set it back down. Looks like we're going to re-rack, restack, and we'll try it once again. There we go. We're going to come back to green once again. Roughly halfway through the race. McLean, Thornton, Joplin, your top 3. Starting a lap 15 as we speak, halfway home. McLean rolling the high side. Gets a great jump over Thornton, running in 2nd. Joplin holding his own in the 3rd spot. Smith trying to bang the boards to get around him. Eddie Jones already back into the top 5. Joplin using that slider line. Holding off the charge of the momentum from Smith. Reeling in Thornton ever so slightly. Thornton trying to make ground on McLean for the lead. But McLean has got the top side rolling, and he is gone to this point. Back behind Ryan Paget, Austin Thornton battling it out for the 5th spot. Paget up top, Thornton on the bottom, real tight off the bottom wheel stands down the front straightaway. Jackson McLean coming around. We got 10 laps to go in the A main for your Outlaw Micro Sprints. Richie Joplin still holding on to 3rd. Andrew Thornton moving up top, trying to catch McLean. Throws that slider line. Closes the gap a little bit. I think the yellow flag is out once again. Caution going to fly for the 51 of Eddie Jones. Battling with Paget, backs off in the corner, comes to a stop, collects Thornton, just parks it long enough to throw the yellow. There you go, coming back to green. Jackson McLean, your leader. Andrew Thornton in 2nd, Richie Joplin in 3rd. Green flags in here. We've got 8 laps to go. Thornton down to that low side, got a nice run off the bottom on McLean. Trying that slider line a little bit tight that time by. Sticking exclusively with that slider line now, starting to catch McLean. Joplin holding on. Yellow flags out once again. Looks like the yellow's going to fly for the 98 of Ryan Paget up top. Gets a hold of the opening. He's on the fence. Looks like it could have been a premature yellow there. Sure looked like he was going to go for a ride, ended up not doing so. There we go, coming back to green for what is hopefully the final time. Jackson McLean, Andrew Thornton, Richie Joplin, Joey Smith, your top 4. Green flags in the air, we're back underway, 6 laps to go. Thornton right to the low side, he's got a run on the bottom. Right to the back bumper of McLean through 1 and 2. McLean still railing a high side. Thornton goes, winds up, throws the slider, thinks better of it, lets McLean have it. 4 laps to go. Is there enough time? McLean starting to drive away. Battle for the 3rd spot between Joey Smith and Richie Joplin. Ryan Paget throwing his hat in the ring as well. 3 laps to go. Joplin and Smith close quarters racing there. Jackson McLean's going to bring it across. We've got 2 laps to go. Ryan Paget trying to find his way onto the podium. White flag's going to fly for Jackson McLean. 1 lap to go, rolling around the high side of the speedway into turn number 3 out of 4. No contest. Jackson McLean's going to win. Andrew Thornton in 2nd, Joey Smith 3rd, Richie Joplin 4th. Dusty Fincher rounds out your top 5. So your A-Main winner tonight, coming to you out of Paris, Tennessee, the Jackson McLean Racing B-Main Bandits, number 81 of Jackson McLean. Andrew Thornton, the AMT Racing Services, number 31 out of Granbury, Texas, is going to be P2. And rounding out your podium out of LaPorte, Texas, the Houston Oilers Tribute card is going to be Joey Smith. That'll do it for the Outlaw Micro Sprints tonight. Definitely a war of attrition. And your final standings look like this. Jackson McLean is going to be your winner. Andrew Thornton and Joey Smith round out your podium. Mr. I Can't Turn On Dirt brings it home in 4th place. Dusty Fincher going to round out your top 5. Ryan Paget in 6th. Austin Thornton in 7th. Eddie Jones in 8th. Dennis Holly in 9th. And Rylan Gray going to round out your 10-car field. Definitely a rough go of the A-Main event tonight for the Outlaw Micro Sprints. It ended up being a war of attrition to make it to the end of 30 laps here. A lot of it can be attributed to the track we're on tonight, 1/8 of a mile, not a whole lot of room to move around. Man, get ready to sound the air raid sirens because the midgets are coming next. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a feature time here at the Millbridge Speedway for round number 4 of the B-Main Bandits Midget League Summer Series. Got 15 cars set to go for 30 laps around the tight confines of the Millbridge Speedway. And your starting lineup looks like this. Starting shotgun on the field tonight in the 15th starting spot. Coming to you out of Orondo, Washington. That's going to be the JR Button Boxes, Edwards Racing Setups, How to Suck at iRacing, Warlord Wraps, number 51 of Edmund Jones. Starting outside of row number 7 tonight, he comes to you out of Jacksonville, Illinois, representing the SSR Elite. That's going to be the 018 of Brandon Garman. Starting to his inside, he's out of Hudson, North Carolina, the B-Main Bandits, How to Suck at iRacing, number 08, Mr. I Can't Turn on Dirt, that is Richie Joplin. Outside of row number 6 tonight, coming to you out of Troy, Indiana, representing SSR Elite, that's going to be the number 21 of Bruce Klingen. To his inside, making his debut with the B-Main Bandits Midget Series, that's going to be the number 2J of James Turnbull. Now working our way into our top 10 starters, starting outside of row number 5 tonight, that's going to be Chevy Boyer, the number 25. And his inside, the 9th starting spot tonight, coming to you out of Granbury, Texas, the B-Main Bandits AMT Racing Services, number 31 of Andrew Thornton. Starting outside of row number 4 tonight, coming to you out of Anadarko, Oklahoma, the Aces Up Sim Sports, Scott Thomas and Racing, number 98 of Reckon, Ryan Paget. And his inside out of Greenfield, Indiana, multiple-time winner this season with the B-Main Bandits Racing League. That's going to be the gray auto, number 06 of Ryland Gray. Starting outside of row number 3 tonight in the 6th starting spot, coming to you out of Winfield, Missouri, going to be the DCR number 88 of Mason Coffey. Working our way into our top 5 starters, starting inside of row number 3 tonight, coming to you out of Joplin, Missouri, the B-Main Bandits AMT Racing Services, number 69 of Austin Thornton. Starting outside of row number 2 tonight, coming to you out of Paris, Tennessee, your current points leader with the B-Main Bandits Summer Series, that's going to be the Wonder Boy, Jackson McLean. And to his inside, starting P3 on the evening, that's going to be the DCR number 67 of Evan Dawson. Moving on to your front row. Coming to you from across the pond, calls home Medhill, Scotland. That's going to be the UK 5-6 of Kyle O'Donnell. And your pole sitter tonight, coming to you out of LaPorte, Texas, the 5150 Racing B-Main Bandits, number 50. That's going to be Joey Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, it is guaranteed to be a wild 30 laps. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the 3-wide virtual thrill ride of the B-Main Bandits Midget League. Smith and O'Donnell going to lead us to the green. O'Donnell jumps the start, big stack up behind. Smith's going to go around and turn number 1, going to bunch up the whole lot of them, and it's going to bring out a yellow immediately. There we go. Let's try it again. Smith, O'Donnell, McLean, Coffey, Paget, your top 5. Green flags in the air. We're racing finally. Mason Coffey making his way into P3. Lots of beating and banging all the way through the field. Paget and O'Donnell are going to get together. That's going to bring out a yellow. Go back, take a look at the wild ride for Kyle O'Donnell. Boyer gets into Paget, chain reaction. O'Donnell with nowhere to go. Ends up making his way to the Shadow Realm and out of tonight's event. As we're going to come back to green, it looks like it's going to be Joey Smith, Ryland Gray on the front row. Out of turn number 4, green flags in the air. We're racing one more time here at Millbridge. Gray bouncing it off the fence. A lot of momentum. Smith having a hard time hanging with him. Paget on the bottom. Smith's going to go to the cushion, try to hold off Paget for the second spot. Smith's into the fence. Loses 2 spots in the process. Paget and Coffey both go by. Yellow flag is out. Second yellow flag of the night going to be charged to Austin Thornton, the 69. Just gets in a little bit hot and grabs the back bumper of Turnbull. Backs up into the fence, comes to a stop and draws the yellow. There we go. We're going to be coming back to green with a single file restart. Ryland Gray, Joey Smith, Ryan Paget, your top 3 out of 4. Gray stands a loud pedal. We're back underway here at Millbridge. Starting to work lap 7. Smith and Paget side by side. Smith's on the fence, tries to Logan Seavey it. That's going to bring out a yellow as it collects a couple other cars. I believe that was Evan Dawson that got a piece of that. He did, but not quite too much. Who was the other car that got it? Like Mason Coffee. Mason Coffee 3 wide, nowhere to go. Smith's there, Turnbull and Thornton, both Thornton boys involved. Just a bunch of calamity is the best way to describe that. That's going to be yellow number 3 for the evening. There we go, going to come back to green. Rylan Gray, Ryan Paget, Evan Dawson, now your top 3. Working lap number 9 of 30. Gray's got that thing hooked up and rolling on the high side of the speedway. Ryan Paget still working the bottom, holding P2. A little bit of a battle with Evan Dawson as with yellow flags out almost immediately once again. On the restart, looks like going to be charged to Austin Thornton once again. A little too hot and gets into James Turnbull. Man, those two have just got to be polar opposites because they are attracted to each other like magnets. There we are, coming to try it again. Rylan Gray, Ryan Paget, Evan Dawson, still your top 3. Gray right to the high side, banging the boards, takes off down the back straightaway. Coming to work lap number 11. Ryan Paget on the bottom, wheel stands. Dawson's going to get by him on the high side by side, down the back straightaway for the second spot. Dawson clears him for P2. Jackson McLean and Bruce Klingon battling for the 4th spot. High-low battles all the way around the Millbridge Speedway right now. Mason Coffee tries to shoot the gap. Gets into Klingon. Coffee driving like a man on a mission as we're now at lap 15. Yellow flag's going to come out. It looks like Ryan Paget around on the front straightaway. Caution number 5 going to be charged for Ryan Paget. Gets into the wall in front straightaway with the right rear. Turns around. Facing the wrong way on a one-way street. Stays put just long enough to draw the yellow, tried to 360 it and keep it going. So Paget will move to the tail of the field. Coming back to green for the 5th restart of the evening. Gray, Dawson, McLean, now your top 3. Come to lap 15, this is the halfway point in the race. Gray sticking to his guns on the high side. Been impossible to touch him so far in this race. Evan Dawson working the slider line, gets a bit of the fence. McLean gets a bit of Dawson, but we keep him pointing in the right direction. Stay green. Mason Coffee now working the low side, trying to get around McLean. Turnbull backs into the corner and about comes to a stop. Everybody's still rolling. We're still green. McLean and Coffee having a dogfight for the 3rd spot. Starting a single file and spread out around the top side of the Millbridge Speedway. Evan Dawson still holding on to 2nd. Does anybody have anything for Rylan Gray? Banging the boards on the high side. Now we're 10 to go point. Mason Coffee still trying to reel in McLean. Turnbull looks like he was off the pace through the infield, but he's still going. We're still green. 9 laps to go. Further back, Andrew Thornton and Edmund Jones battling for the 6th spot. Make that the 7th spot, excuse me. Austin Thornton trying to throw his hat in the ring and get around Jones and his older brother Andrew. 7 laps to go. Rylan Gray working his way into lap traffic, throws the slide job on Richie Joplin. And the yellow flag flies. Make that a carbon copy on yellows for Ryan Paget. Same spot, same deal. You watch the caution light comes on just as he pulls the 360. So that is 2 for Ryan Paget. Rylan Gray going to lead us to green one more time. We got 5 laps to go this time. Evan Dawson, Jackson McLean battling for 2nd and 3rd. Dawson's on the fence, keeps it upright. laps to go. Mason Coffey throws the suicide slide on McLean. Not going to make it stick. Ryland Gray is checking out on this field as we come down to 3 to go. McLean starting to reel in Dawson for a second. Coming down, we got 2 more times around the Millbridge Speedway. It's going to be a 3-way battle to see who gets on the podium. Ryland Gray comes around. He takes the white flag. He's got 1 to go. There is no competition for him. Jackson McLean holding the 3rd spot. Mason Coffey jumps the berm, just cleans him out, but grabs Turnbull. A little bit of post-race retaliation there and a big stack up as the checkered flag flies. Your A feature winner tonight, coming to you out of Greenfield, Indiana, the gray auto number 06. That's going to be Ryland Gray. I believe that is his 3rd A main event win of the summer series. Mason Coffey with the controversial P3 finish. Evan Dawson is your P2 finisher, has already exited the session. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for our summer series action tonight here at the Millbridge Speedway. Not our usual quality of racing, a lot more yellows, bumping and rubbing than we normally see out of this group. But I guess that just comes with the territory of trying to put them on an 8th mile bull ring. Your A feature finish looks like this. Ryland Gray grabbing his 3rd A main event win of the season. Evan Dawson, Mason Coffey, the DCR teammates, round out the podium. Jackson McLean, James Turnbull round out the top 5. Bruce Klingon, Andrew Thornton, Edmund Jones, Austin Thornton, and Ryan Paget round out the top 10. Brandon Garman, Joey Smith, Richie Joplin, Chevy Boyer, your 11 through 14. And Kyle O'Donnell with the early exit rounds out the 15-car field. Next week is championship week as we move on to the Tulsa Expo Center and we go indoors under the lights on Tuesday night with the micro sprints and the midgets to crown our champions in both the micros, the midgets, and an overall champion. So we will see you next Tuesday night. Thank you for watching.